See, the voice don't work if we ain't chatting big money. You can never say I cheap talk, I
What's going on,
speak big
Boxing fans?
money.
This is Kenneth, the SBM Boxing. Happy Memorial Day weekend to those out there that are enjoying, relaxing, spending time with your family, spending time with your friends or your significant other. If you're out there drinking and partying, have fun. Just make sure it's not your last weekend. Think about it. I too having a little Corona Rita. No homo, but hey, all beers in Johnny Walker side. Can I have a margarita? Why not? You know, shit. Let me have a little taste, a little margarita. Nobody should be mad at me about that. But anyways, I really want to create this video because I watched Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley HBO 24/7 episode 2. Should have had it out last night, but over here in Orlando, Florida, they had the Star Wars weekend. Had to go out there this morning, check it out. Big crowd, huge crowd. Had all the Star Wars all decked out on stage. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but hey, if you're a dude, that's awesome, man. You know, all they needed was Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, and Chuck Norris, and the whole place would have exploded. But anyways, I know that was pretty corny, but let's get down to business. Let's talk about HBO's episode 2, 24/7, between Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao. About this week's episode, on my scale from 1 to 10, I'll give it about 5 or 6. I never like to use the word boring, especially when you're watching someone, getting a glimpse of someone legendary like Manny Pacquiao, or even an exciting fighter, undefeated Timothy Bradley, and even get a glimpse of their lifestyle and how they're training and preparing for the fight. You can't say it's boring, regardless of what you see. It's always great, and I definitely always admire to see something like that. And it's cool to definitely see the back end, especially when they never used to have it, you know. And it gives boxing a little bit more excitement, just see how they're preparing themselves. But as far as the episode as whole, they did show Timothy Bradley and his work regimen. We've seen a little bit of it. And we've seen his hard work, his dedication, but we also seen his family side of it, which was cool, you know. But HBO just, look, we get it, you know. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm not trying to be rude whatsoever. I understand that he has 2 kids that are not his. He just had a baby, baby girl, and look, I don't want to see that, you know. I understand how people can relate to that, but as a boxing fan, I want to see the nitty and gritty. I want to see hard work. I want to see what you're doing, how you're preparing yourself mentally, physically, and stuff like that. As far as the Manny Pacquiao side, I didn't really get to see too much. And I see it from the business standpoint on HBO. HBO is not going to show. HBO, for some reason, they're always, these last several 24/7s with Manny Pacquiao, they're always going to make it seem as Manny Pacquiao's losing his edge, Manny Pacquiao's distracted, or there's a slim possibility that Timothy Bradley has a chance. So they're showing him doing Bible studies. They're showing him having all this controversy between his camp, between his trainers, but yet they'll flip it over and they'll show Timothy Bradley talking about running 25 miles just to test his body and take his body to the max. They'll show him running through the desert, you know, in the daylight, and they'll do a flash of him pitch dark yelling, "Hey, bring it, I want to see it, you're gonna have to beat me." That's, you know, that's from a business standpoint, they want people to be on their seats and just having all these emotions. Man, you know what, Pacquiao has it, you know, Pacquiao might lose, what's he doing? I don't buy into that whatsoever. No way. Pacquiao's a beast. They're not going to show him training his ass off. They're not going to show him replacing the punching bag because he done duct taped the shit out of it and beating it up so bad. That guy's a beast. I don't care what he does. He's ready to fight. But the whole thing with Ariza and Freddie Roach, Ariza left, Freddie Roach got rid of him. Manny Pacquiao came out and said, hey, you know what, Ariza did ask my permission if he can go. I gave him my permission. I said there's no big deal, and I accepted him to come back. But Freddie Roach is making it a big deal because, you know, he's the boss man. And Freddie Roach is putting him in a situation, and he went on camera and said, hey, I'm going to have a chat with Manny about, look, give him his ultimatum, you know. Hey, either you get rid of him or I'm leaving. You know, I understand where Freddie Roach is coming from. Freddie's a trainer. You know, he has the expertise. He definitely has the credentials. He is the coach. He is the head guy over there. But come on, man, it should be about the fighter. That's who Manny Pacquiao feels comfortable with. He feels comfortable with Ariza. But so he needs to tone it down a little bit, Freddie. And as long as your fighter is comfortable with Ariza and he's working hard, just keep your emotions to yourself, man. You know, don't let that mess up the work regimen between you and Pacquiao and getting the job done. But I definitely understand what Freddie was saying. As far as Ariza's head was getting a little bit too big, and he hit dead in the head on that, because the last episodes, he's a hell of a trainer, don't get me wrong, but he's a little too cocky. He's a little too arrogant. And that's cool, but dude, you're a trainer, you know, you need to stay humble. You got to know your place. And there's a lot, and that's not even this, you know, it's anyone's work environment. As soon as the little person gets a little too comfortable, feels a little bit important, they did their job and they accomplished a lot of things, they tend to, you see their side of character. And so I definitely agree with Freddie on that aspect, but I think he's taking it a little bit too extreme. I think he just needs to step back, have a chat with him, and then after the Pacquiao fight, man, do what you got to do. But as of right now, the fight's right around the corner. There's no need for this drama and this hostility. But HBO is doing a hell of a job as far as making people seem that Pacquiao's not ready. As far as my fight prediction, I'm definitely, after watching this episode, I'm keeping it the same. So my fight prediction, I was saying, I'm not sure if you guys watched my video in the past, as far as Manny Pacquiao and Bradley, but I'm still going with Pacquiao. So I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao's going to win just because he's a congressman from the Philippines. He's done a lot of great things for the Philippines. He's a people's champ. He's a great guy. He's humble. No, SBM Boxing, we want to give a non-biased opinion. Yes, I have my personal favorites, but I want to keep them personal favorites to myself. I want to see boxing for what it is and try my best to give my non-expert opinion on the fight. 28-0, Manny Pacquiao. Yes, he's undefeated. 28 fighters came up short, but 28 fighters that aren't even close to the caliber of Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is just more of a complete fighter. He's more versatile. He has speed, agility, punching power. He definitely has the endurance. And biggest thing, he knows how to make the proper adjustments. With his experience, his last 5 or 6 fights, he's fought the fight. He done beat the best. He fought the best. In order to beat the best and fight the best, you have to be able to make the necessary adjustments. Everyone knows Manny Pacquiao's resume, who he's fought. He's fought Marquez, he's fought Margarito, he's fought Clottey, he's fought Hatton, he's fought De La Hoya, he's fought Cotto. And I know there's a lot of variables and a lot of factors that came into play that everyone always speaks about. Hey, you know what? De La Hoya hasn't fought at that weight class and God knows how long. He was dehydrated. Hey, Cotto just came from a loss and he was never the same. And, you know, he was going through a lot of things in his camp, and, you know, his training wasn't that good. Hatton just came from a loss and he wasn't, you know, he was just doing it for the money. Clottey, he took the fight too early. Marquez had to go up in weight or he was robbed. Or Cotto, it doesn't matter, you know. I really don't want to get into that. I just want to see it for what it is. I know these guys are professionals, and professionals are what they do. If they took the fight, if you're boxing, you take the fight, and you had to have some kind of thought and had confidence of that you were going to win the fight. If not, you had no business, you know, taking the fight. And if you lose, you lost. That's it. Plain blank. I don't even want to give too much thought. I don't want to live my life. What if? I don't want to say, hey, what if, hey guys, what if Cotto had the trainer that he has right now and he would have fought Manny Pacquiao at 154? Especially coming up from all these wins that he, no, look, no, I'm not, I don't even want to get into that. Anyways, the reason I'm saying that is just because he's facing Timothy Bradley. Bradley has to look at all this and see it for what it, see what all these guys brought to the table. He's going to have to come with the proper formula to beat Manny Pacquiao. Marquez, he can't be Marquez. Yes, Marquez gave him problems, but only Marquez is Marquez. So he's going to have to be able to counter. But Marquez has the ring experience, which Bradley doesn't have. So there's no way that Bradley can take approach of Marquez and do it like Marquez. He's going to have to do something. Him in his training camp, as of right now, as I've seen Timothy Bradley in all his fights, his 28 fights, if he brings that same game plan, and he brings that same strategy and that same approach against Manny Pacquiao, he's going to lose. And I'm sorry, but if I upset anybody, but hey,
see, the voice don't work if we ain't chatting big money. You can never say I cheap talk, I speak big money.
Never say I cheap talk, I speak big money.